little hands gone glove.
Hello again, Cynical Butt here. I suppose I would probably be called an anarchist by many people for my views on government. It doesn't come from a deep-seated political belief that you could call me an anarchist. I've read history, I observe the way things go, and ultimately I realise the flaws in all forms of government that have ever been brought about. There is always the downtreading of some people by others who take advantage of them, whatever sort of government you've got. I don't know how many systems of government there are, but I cannot recall any so-called civilization in which you could have had a good life if you were on the lower echelons of that society, right the way back to Babylon. There were hierarchies with kings and priests at the top, then there was ministers, beneath them bonded labour or even slaves. It's only a matter of look where you were born in society. Throughout time, if you were born lowly, 99 times out of 100, you would die lowly, and so were your children. You know, nowadays people say, oh, we've got democracy, we've got a meritocracy. If you work really hard, you can make a good life for yourself. Is life about working hard? It's useful to be able to work hard. I think it's all good for us all to do it sometimes, but what compromises have to be made when you're working really hard for your life? Generally, it takes more than hard work to climb society's ladder. And even if you do climb it, why do you deserve to more than your neighbour? Why is hard work valued so highly anyway? Are ruthlessness and hard work really the highest good, as it seems to be when you watch so much on the telly, from Dragon's Den to the news? If so, if hard work and ruthlessness is the highest goal, whose highest good is it? I mean, it's useful to instill in your subjects or your workers, for they produce more that way. So for a corporation or for a state, I suppose it is important that the population work hard and don't question very much, and that these ethics are drummed into you. That's why school teaches children to learn what they're told and do as they're told. Questions aren't encouraged. Poor teachers haven't got time to answer them anyway. You know, they've got a government-dictated curriculum which they must impart to the children in a limited time with limited resources. There's little joy left in teaching now. It's really just a stressful job. Schools are run like businesses. Profit comes before learning, and order comes before creativity. You don't teach people what they don't need to know. Government decides what you need to know, and you're educated for your future employment. There's a few types of government. You've got absolute monarchy. Well, I think we all know what that is. Without laws, without constitution, it's just a king or a queen who can do what they want. They also give anarchy as a system of government. It's an oxymoron. Anarchy, you can't have an anarchistic government. It's an oxymoron. You've got commonwealth, communist, totalitarian, constitutional, dictatorships, democratic. Anyway, you've got all these different sorts of governments, but there's not many that appeal to my sense of fairness, particularly if you're born lower down the orders. I know theoretically some of the more enlightened forms of government may seem fair and attractive, but that isn't the way it works out, is it? We're supposed to have a democracy now, and look at the muppets who are running this country. All countries are run by morons. Evil, wicked, upwit morons who take advantage of all of us. They prostitute themselves out to the corporations. Anyway, enough of that. I'm cynical. Please forgive me. Anyway, sadly, corruption and human frailty always seems to appear with high office. And with any form of representative government, there is high office. At the moment, government's particularly under attack with the onslaught of globalisation. Corporations are so powerful now they can control many aspects of government in most countries. You know, that is a real difficult problem. You know, our faith in governments is completely undermined, but when you do that, you take away all legislature within the country, and the corporations can swoop in, change the laws and do what they want and really take advantage of us. Does it matter who's exploiting us, the government or the corporation? I think I'd rather be exploited by my own government than by a foreign corporation, but either way, you're getting exploited. You know, we've got corruption. I mean, who would allow fracking, for example? You'd have to be mental. You know, they're pumping radioactive water full of other toxins and other poisons into these, shale reserves they call it. You know, there's millions of gallons of flowback liquid, according to the EPA. I think that sounds American though. And this flowback liquid contains water and a number of contaminants, including radioactive material, heavy metals, hydrocarbons and other toxins. This wastewater is stored on the fracking site in pits injected into deep underground wells. That's from WW Live Science. You know, you put water in the ground, it's going to come out, and when it's full of poison, it's poison that's going to come out as well. I'm all in favour of people cooperating and working and creating everything we need. We all know how to live by rules for the protection of everyone. You know, fair rules, we all know what fair is. We don't say it very often in the world today, but we all know what fair is. We don't need a government to get on with each other. You know, look around. People get on without governments or corporations. We can do stuff. We just need to do it together without having people who take advantage telling us what to do. Cynical Butt signing out then. Thank you for listening. Cheerio.